Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Martinez with Martinez Art Lab. Right now we're going to look at the artist Bridget Riley and we're checking out 5 interesting facts about her. So let's get started. All right. Bridget Riley is an op artist. Probably the most important thing about her. As an op artist, op art is a form of abstract art, and it gives you the illusion of movement by the precise use of pattern and color. So on screen, you see an example of her work, and her work is actually done on a flat surface, and the way that she draws her shapes in and adds her color makes it look as though it is not a flat surface. Typically, her work, or what she's well known for, is her black and white op art. So we'll see quite a few examples of that today. Let's move on to number 2. Bridget Riley was born in Britain in 1931. So she is a British artist and she is still a living artist. So in 2020, as of right now, as I'm speaking, Bridget Riley is a living artist. On the screen, you see an example of her art, and this example is paint on linen. And if you look really closely, it starts getting a little wavy, right? One example of her work is often very large. So you can think as large as a wall. And then you can kind of think about that impact that such a large optical illusion would have on you as you're looking at it. All right, number 3, her painting's value has increased 25,500% in the last 25 years. So, for example, in the 1990s, you could buy one of her paintings for $20,000. Only $20,000. Now, if you were to go buy the paintings, you would have to pay somewhere around $5 million. Huge difference. So 30 years ago, her work was worth $20,000, and now it's worth in the millions. On screen, you also see an example of some of her lesser known work. She's using a lot of bright, bold colors to create another optical illusion. So another example of that op art. Let's go ahead and check out number 4. Because of her work, her artwork can actually cause motion sickness. As we're staring at her work, it can start moving before us. So if you stare at this work long enough, it will start literally moving before your eyes. Now we know that it's not actually moving. However, the optical illusion will trick our eyes into thinking that it's moving. And that movement that we think we see can actually cause motion sickness. And our last tip, Bridget Riley, she hired assistants to complete some of her paintings. So she would actually draw them in, and then her assistants would go in and paint the paintings in. This is actually a pretty common practice among some very well-known artists. A lot of other artists practice this as well. So they will hire assistants, and after they've done the work of drawing or laying out their work, they will hire assistants to come in and do the kind of monotonous task of just painting them in. Hopefully you learned quite a bit about Bridget Riley. Those 5 interesting facts have taught you the essentials of Bridget Riley, the famous British op art artist.